12 reasons why he stares at you when you're not looking. You're absorbed in your own world when you get the uncanny sense that someone is watching you. You look up to find a person hastily glancing away, feigning innocence after clearly staring in your direction. This familiar scene leaves you perplexed. What made them fixate on you? That nagging question can quickly consume your thoughts, especially if it's someone you like or the staring persists. To satisfy this common curiosity that borders on anxious fixation, here are potential motives behind this covert gazing when your gaze is averted. 1. Attraction. Attraction is likely the most obvious explanation when someone is stealing glances at you. If he's intrigued by your looks, style, or personality, he may not be able to resist subtly staring when you seem preoccupied. When a man is drawn to a woman, her beauty naturally catches his eye. He could be captivated by your physical appearance, fashion sense, or simply the way you carry yourself. So if you notice him frequently sneaking peeks in your direction, it's a strong sign he finds you appealing and wants to get to know you better. As beauty is subjective according to one's personal taste, his gaze reveals your alluring in his eyes. If it leaves you wondering whether he's interested, that furtive yet focused attention most likely stems from finding you incredibly attractive. 2. Curiosity. As curious creatures, humans naturally fixate on anything that intrigues us. If you've captured his interest in some way, he may subtly stare trying to figure out what's so captivating. Perhaps you're wearing an eye-catching accessory, have a distinctive feature, or are engrossed in an exciting conversation. Something about you stands out, and now his curiosity is piqued. It could be the way you laugh, your social graces, or even small habits like how you drink coffee. Whatever the source, you've grabbed his attention. His eyes linger trying to unravel the mystery of what exactly he finds so fascinating. That intent gaze signals his attempt to learn more about you or the situation at hand, driven by innate curiosity. So if you notice him staring when you're not looking, it may simply be that something about you has hooked his interest. His gaze is the focus of his curiosity working to discover more. 3. Familiarity. Have you ever seen someone and felt definite familiarity, but been unable to place where you know them from? That tip of the tongue feeling may explain his staring if you seem recognizable yet unidentifiable to him. Perhaps he's racking his brain trying to figure out if you're the girl from a party or an old childhood friend. That nagging feeling has sparked his curiosity, causing him to fixate as he searches for answers. It's also possible you closely resemble someone he knows, a friend, ex, or family member. In trying to pinpoint why you look so familiar, his eyes keep darting back to you. He may be staring in hopes this will jog his memory and finally solve the mystery. So if you notice him stealing glances, it could be that you vaguely remind him of someone without him being able to connect the dots. His gaze is intently studying, hoping to identify the source of familiarity. 4. Admiration. A stare doesn't always imply romantic interest, sometimes it's wordless admiration. He may fixate on you because he appreciates your sense of style, confidence, or how you handle challenges. It's his way of quietly praising the unique qualities that catch his eye. Though not overtly flirtatious, it's a silent compliment. So take it as a sign you impress him, and keep being your stellar self. His gaze could reflect admiration of your talents, intelligence, or poise. If he seems captivated as he watches you, it's likely he finds something about you commendable. Maybe he respects your success and work ethic. Or he simply admires the grace with which you carry yourself. So if you catch an admiring gaze, recognize it as praise for the things that make you extraordinary in his eyes. 5. Boredom. We've all been there, zoning out from boredom and absent-mindedly people watching. If he seems to be staring blankly in your direction, it could simply be that you're there and he has nothing better to look at. When we're stuck in dull situations, our gazes often default to scanning our surroundings aimlessly. So try not to read too much into it if his eyes land on you during periods of boredom. Sometimes a stare is just a stare, not motivated by anything deeper. If he's waiting around with time to kill, sitting through a monotonous lecture, or just letting his mind wander, you may unintentionally become the target of his empty staring. Without anything to hold his interest, you're merely convenient eye candy rather than an intentional fixation. So next time you catch him looking idle and vacant, chalk it up to boredom rather than romantic intrigue. His unfocused eyes likely settled on you coincidentally as a way to pass the time. 6. Social observation. As social creatures, people will naturally observe others to comprehend social dynamics. His gaze settling on you could stem from watching how you interact within the group setting. Since you're actively involved, he may unconsciously stare to further understand the social climate. By seeing how you engage with those around you, he can better read situational cues. His people watching might be an attempt to get insight into your personality or gauge the overall mood you help create. He could simply be an engaged observer of the human experience rather than singling you out intentionally. So if you notice his watching eyes during group interactions, recognize he may just be analyzing for social comprehension. As we navigate our complex social world, studying human behavior is a common way to increase acumen. 7. Body language. Our body language subtly communicates volumes, even when we're unaware. His staring may be an attempt to decipher physical cues you're transmitting unintentionally. Certain gestures, expressions, and mannerisms reveal inner thoughts and feelings despite your best poker face. If your nonverbal signals convey intriguing mixed messages, it can draw his gaze as he tries interpreting this secondary layer of communication. He could be staring in an effort to crack the code of what your unspoken behaviors imply about your mindset or intentions. Humans have an innate drive to recognize emotions and mental states through physical expression. So if you notice him fixated and focused, he may simply be closely studying your body language for insights into your feelings that words don't express overtly. 8. Coincidence. Sometimes his gaze landing on you may simply be an accidental coincidence. If he seems spaced out, distracted in thought, or generally unaware of his surroundings, the staring could be unintentional. When our minds wander off in daydreams or contemplation, our eyes may drift and settle absent-mindedly without specific focus. In these moments, we all unintentionally stare into space. So if his eyes are aimed in your direction yet seem vacant and disengaged, chances are he's gazing right through you. This trance-like staring likely carries no motive or meaning beyond a random place for his lost eyes to rest. Before reading into it, consider he may just be mentally checked out and not actually staring at you at all. When we detach from the present, we don't always realize where our eyes unconsciously wander. 9. Habit. For some individuals, maintaining an intense gaze is an ingrained habit, not signaling any particular focus or meaning. Based on cultural norms, upbringing, or unique personality traits, staring could simply be an unconscious tendency. If you notice him displaying this behavior with others too, it may be a reflex rather than motivated staring. Some people default to direct eye contact and struggle to break their transfixing gaze. Before feeling self-conscious, consider he may naturally have piercing eyes that intensely linger regardless of intentions. If it seems unconscious and indiscriminate, don't assume you're the focus of his thoughts. For those prone to staring blankly, the target is largely arbitrary. So if his laser-like looks are aimed at everyone, they likely carry no special subtext when directed your way. For some, staring just comes instinctively without underlying thought or motive. 10. Unconscious behavior. Sometimes we stare absent-mindedly without intention or even realizing our eyes have fixed. When preoccupied internally, we can engage in unconscious behaviors without self-awareness. Our minds may be so engrossed in thought that we don't consciously register where our gaze settles. Staring blankly into space is one of those automated, zoning out habits we all fall into. So if you catch his eyes habitually landing on you yet seeming distracted, it could simply be an unconscious reflex outside his awareness. In these instances, the staring likely carries no particular meaning or associated emotions. He may not even comprehend his eyes keep returning to you. Before making assumptions, consider he could be spacing out and gazing your way just out of inadvertent habit. With our minds elsewhere, we don't always notice our eyes focus. 11. Social anxiety. Social anxiety can make interacting with others challenging. Some people cope by observing others from afar, analyzing the behaviors and expressions to try to determine how to engage. It's possible this person wants to speak with you but feels too nervous or hesitant to initiate contact. His watching you may reflect his interest in connecting but uncertainty in how to go about it. 12. He wants to approach you. Finally, his glances in your direction could signify he's contemplating the best way to engage you in conversation. For some men, approaching a woman feels daunting. Like most people, he may fear being rejected. He could be mentally preparing to come talk to you, or waiting for an opportune time to initiate a chat. If you're open to connecting with him too, consider taking the lead and saying hello first, or give him a warm smile to indicate your receptiveness. Making the initial outreach can be nerve-wracking. A little reassurance that his effort would be welcome could go a long way. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any new videos. Let us know your thoughts about this video in the comments section down below and feel free to stay and enjoy it until the end. Also make sure to check out our next highlighted video and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.